as we reach the penultimate episode of the season, minus the reunion show. Some finally realize that things won't work, as others still struggle to make a final decision. So, on a positive tip, when it comes to Cynthia and Anthony and Mark Anthony Mercedes, they're cousins who feel like brothers to them, love the woman that they're interested in. Cynthia, as always, says all the right things and even makes it clear that she can handle James. And then with Mercedes, she seems, as much as the quote-unquote homegirl vibe is an issue for many others, it makes Mark Anthony very comfortable and his cousin. But the only red flag is that his cousin alludes to the possibility of Mark Anthony potentially moving back to the New York area. So for Mercedes, that could be an issue because long distance relationships can be a lot, but she seems willing to at least try if that does happen. On the flip side, things are a little bit more difficult for both Andre and Tony. For Tony, the problem is that Morgan is taking this process as fast as it goes, and she's talking about going to counseling with Tony, and Tony's sisters, she's a bit uncomfortable with that idea. But in Morgan's defense, as much as we've seen Tony have anger issues and communication issues, he also decided to date and sleep with Natasha, one of the first girls to get eliminated. And while he told Morgan that it happened, at the same time, that is why she has been very much reluctant to commit to Tony because she knows how he can move. As for Andre, when it comes to his sister and his niece to a point, his sister's main issue is that both of his picks have children, and right now Andre has none. Cynthia has 2, Jeffrey has 3. Jeffrey's a bit too soft for his sister's taste, and while Andre's sister kind of likes Cynthia, at the same time, if it was her decision, she would have neither one for her little brother because he doesn't want him dealing with women with baggage, aka children. Which leads to the deliberation part where it's very much clear at this point that Mark Anthony Mercedes are locked, Anthony and Cynthia are locked, and also Tony and Morgan are locked. So Andre's the only one who can really eliminate somebody, but if he chooses Jeffrey, that means Andre loses Cynthia, and Cynthia being gone means Anthony don't got nobody. So with that in mind, and maybe also his own feelings, because Cynthia has opened up to him, she cried to him and everything, he decides that he just can't eliminate nobody. So in the final episode, it's going to be between him and her either choosing each other or choosing other people. If not, in a likely case, one choosing the other and the other one not being chosen, and the other one not choosing them back because they picked somebody else. So the highlight for us is just the whole Natasha reveal, and granted, the Natasha reveal and Uncle Tommy not really being able to do anything about it, it kind of makes you wonder what's the point of even eliminating people if you can't get in trouble for dating someone who got kicked off the show. But that aside, it was kind of nice that something like this didn't get revealed during the reunion show, but actually during the main season. And granted, it's been revealed so late on that it can't really affect the elimination process, but it does remind you that when it comes to the show, they don't control them for 24/7. They're not always on their backs, and they can do other things. Hence why a lot of people during the reunion show, they reveal they got back with exes, married to exes, yada yada yada. So just this one moment of being reminded that this is not some boxed in situation like Ready to Love Last Resort, it really reminds you that when it comes to this whole process, there's a reason why a lot of people don't trust it, and that's it's difficult for some to, like Morgan, trust the other person when they know that as much as the show may have given you some options, that doesn't mean you're limited to them, and that means that you don't have to be committed to the process to still be in the process. For the on-the-fence topic, I think after watching what is, I guess, more than 100 episodes at this point, it's time to really just lower expectations when it comes to Ready to Love. And I hate to do it because I keep thinking whenever I talk about any show with predominantly black people or black tags, where either I'm raising up standards or lowering them, but if you think about other dating shows like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, this show expecting to get 3 viable couples is kind of a lofty goal. And with those shows, they only look for one couple over a course of weeks when everyone's focused on one person, and those don't work out. So, all things considered, it might be time to give Ready to Love a break in some ways. And recognize that, for the most part, nobody's going to find love within 10 or so weeks. Most people are just seemingly dipping their toe back into the dating pool, so expecting them to deep dive into the ocean and just be amongst the fishes is a lot to ask, especially if they're not like Morgan, who has, time limit going on regarding having kids and everything, or Cynthia, who seemingly is fully ready to embrace love in a way that I don't think most of the people who ever come on this show are. But point of the matter is, as expectations are starting to get lowered, I have to admit it kind of takes the fun out of watching this in a way, at least for the intended experience of, watching older black people find love, and that's supposed to be reassuring to you that you can find love no matter what the age. Because now, as shown by the highlight, increasingly I'm just here for the drama. Everything else I know is probably not going to last, because all it takes is 1 or 2 things being said or done, and then that's it. With that said, in terms of the final couples, I feel like Cynthia may choose Anthony. Jeffrey hopefully will choose Andre. Reverse that, Andre will choose Jeffrey. Blake and Sue-Ann is a definite. And I think Mark Anthony and Mercedes are definite. As for Morgan and Tony, I feel like Morgan has been saying too many times thus far that she's going to keep giving Tony a chance. And I don't think she realizes that having to give anybody this many chances means that you need to just let them go. But as we've said with, I think, past seasons, there's a certain point in Ready to Love where it seems less about finding love or being in a relationship and more just about making it to the end and treating this as a competition. And I think when it comes to Tony and Morgan, especially for Tony, at this point, it might be more about competition than it is about really finding someone to be with for the rest of your life.